Hello, Kate.
Hello.
Hi, welcome Facebook world. I've got Kate KRYSINSKI with me, and I'm super, super, super excited. Woo! Okay, so real quick, just we've got a lot of people watching. We're gonna have fun today.
Friends.
Paul is here.
My
is that
dad?
Dad? Hi, Dad. Woo! Hi. Okay, so real quick, Kate, how's your day? Give us a quick check-in.
It's good. I can't complain. It's a great day.
Yeah.
Every day is a great day.
Well, that's good to know. As you know, I do have some information down at the bottom. Dad says, hi.
Hi, Dad.
For those watching, down below is where you're going to be able to find Kate and her art, which is phenomenal, by the way. If you don't know this, you've been missing out. Bless your heart, and you will not have to miss it anymore because Okay, so the first thing we're going to do today is we're going to do what I call spitballing. Okay. They're called spit lights, actually. They're my way and my way to cue you to get into some Kate stuff that someone else may not probably even think to ask you. And some of these you're probably going to have already seen because I've asked other people on my other shows. But what is Kate's go-to treat at the movies?
Sour Patch Kids, any sour candy, fire. Yeah.
Okay.
Even not at the movies, even in regular life.
So the Sour Patch Kids, those are like the little gummies, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
A few years ago, they came out with the blue one. That's the best one.
And blue, is there a particular flavor associated with the blue?
I think it's supposed to be blue raspberry, but you know.
Does it taste like raspberry? Do you know?
No, it's like one of those candy phenomena, like how a grape doesn't taste like real grapes.
I know exactly what you mean. Okay, so then the next thing is, no matter what your day is like, no matter what's going on, what will always make you smile?
Animals.
Is it only animals, or when you say animals, do you mean animals, reptiles, insects?
Yeah, insects. Spiders are animals too, but that is my one. It might sound weird. Like meditation for me is I like to photograph my tarantulas or feed my tarantulas, and it's like another way if I'm not painting to get in that zone and unwind.
Mm.
I like to spend hours filming them.
How many tarantulas do you have?
You know what? Like, honestly, probably about 100 between me and Steven.
What?
There's a lot of different species, They're like
do you sell them? Do you breed them, or are they just pets for you?
I've only been a part of 2 breedings now, and then we're working on a few more, but it's definitely something I want to get more into.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's scary. I'm just kidding. I kind of thought about coming over, but I don't know. I don't know now.
They're in cages. They're secured. I haven't ever really had an escapee.
When I was married to my first husband in my 20s, he had, we dated for a year and a half before he moved in with me, Kate. And on the day he was moving in, he starts moving in these tanks of tarantulas. And I'm like, how did I not know? How did I not? No, he hadn't. Of course not. I think he knew. But that would have been like some kind of weird deal breaker or some shit. He literally waited till the day he was moving in.
I know, like, a lot of people have arachnophobia, and so it's kind of been like my deterrent with people. Like, within meeting me, it's probably one of the first things you'll know about me. It's like you get to choose right then if you want to be friends or not.
I absolutely I will 100. Okay, well, you could put one on. I'd probably let you put one on me if you have one that you trust to do that, because I've seen your videos. I've seen you with them, and for me it's far less scary when it's someone who knows what they're doing.
Oh yeah, 100%. A lot of them are not.
Steven. Hi, Steven. Love of your life. Yeah. Well, I asked you what always makes you smile.
Steven also, that was the
Let's throw Steven a shout out. Okay. okay, don't take this like, this is just the order they're in, Steven. But what was your favorite toy as a child, not as an adult?
You know what? I
I'm sorry.
was obsessed, and I still have a lot of them from childhood, stuffed animals. Like when I was little, my dad even built me a shelf all the way around the top of my room to hold all my stuffed animals, because I guess I've always had an obsessive personality, right? I guess I had over 100 stuffed animals too.
Well, that was probably your thing before the spiders.
Yeah, right? Yeah, it was.
I mean, like you are what you have your zoo. Like, what's that movie? They bought a zoo. Like Kate's got her, like, yeah. I bet you, okay, so like that's if you won like the million, the lottery, what? So Steven also said, haha, probably when we were talking about the toys as, as a child, not versus adult. Spike is here, but there's no comment. I know Spike is I know you because of Spike. I knew Van because of Spike. Spike was one of my guests last year on the Spot show, and he gave me a list of people that would be great to interview for this year, and you and Van were on that list. Okay, so the next question is, now I know this is going to be a hard one for you, sweetheart, because you're like you probably want to say all, but if you can only pick one. This was a personalized Kate one. I haven't asked this question yet this year.
Oh, I'm
afraid. If you look at one spirit animal or creature, notice I put creature in there. Yeah. What would it be?
I mean, I guess fox. Foxes are I love spiders, but foxes have always been my favorite animal since I was a little kid. Hi, Helen.
Helen, hello. That's my friend. So a fox. Okay, so like from the Fox and the Hound, did you like that movie?
I love that movie when I was
that movie?
Yeah, like when we would play when we were little, I would always want to be Todd the Fox, like
right?
He was so cute.
When you said Fox, that I thought of that movie because for me, a lot of people, kids, I don't know, I always had a thing for the underdog. I always had a thing for whoever was bullied or the underdog or whatever. Diaz 173 says, I can't live without my stuffies. Right on.
Yeah.
What's a stuffy? Are we talking about stuffed animals? Okay. I feel like I've gotten too old that I had to ask that question. I forgot what I was even talking about, but Fox and the Hound. Yeah. Underdogs. That's one of the reasons why I like that movie too. The whole thing about, it's also one of those tales about the popular kid or popular kids, and then like the outsider, and how there was someone who brought him in. There's all these.
Balto too. Balto was another favorite.
Yes.
One. But you know what? Like I got into art because of I really was into Sonic the Hedgehog, and like I liked Tails the Fox. Like that was one of the things that got me into wanting to draw was Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, wow.
And everything, the show.
Yeah, well, and it has so much to do with why I got into art or doing art, or the art I do has a lot to do with a lot of what we were just talking about. So the last one for our Spitlights is, what is the one thing you can't go a day without, other than Steven?
Steven, my one ultimate vice, I'm not gonna lie, is my vape. Like I need it with me, and I need extra set of batteries anywhere I go, or I will flip out. Like.
Does your vape have nicotine?
I need it.
Are you still using? Is it nicotine vape?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
hey, there's worse things you could be doing, right? Yeah. There's worse things you could be doing than vaping.
Absolutely.
I can relate to that one. Okay. I'm sorry. Now we're going to transition to my 3 questions that I ask everyone who comes on here. There are 3 questions. They're actually, let's see who commented real quick. She said, Dia said it's Diane. Dia 173 is watching on YouTube, and that's so she wanted to know that she's Diane.
Hello, Diane.
Or us. Let us know. Oh, it's Diane. Oh, I think that's for me. I think it's my Diane.
Too. I don't
Hi. I'm pretty sure that's my Diane. Okay. Well, hi, Diane. Okay, so the questions, these were questions I asked last year, and I liked them so much I left them in my show. So if heaven were to exist, regardless of what you believe, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
You crashed the Matrix. Yeah, that I ended the simulation, dude.
Do you feel right? Don't you kind of feel like we're not like this? What is this?
Yeah. I mean, you could go on a whole endeavor for this. This might need another episode.
Well, okay, so it's not part of the question, but is this have anything to do with what you named your art and the fact that it's mute dysphoria?
Yeah, so mute dysphoria means like a quiet sadness, and I also call my art the art of self-exorcism, and I feel like, because you paint, that get everything out from inside onto paper. Like it's a great coping mechanism and meditation. I used to be really self-destructive in my younger days, and finding art's been the best thing for me. Really, it's the best outlet. It's healthy for me.
Yeah, and someone asked me why I didn't show any of my stuff to people when I was interviewed by Joshua Pantelleresco. Mm-hmm. I can actually say his last name correctly. He's going to be in my male spotlights for August. He's going to be awesome. One of the guys. I know, I'm super excited. But he asked me that about why I didn't before 6.5 years ago, and it was because most of my art was trauma response therapy, basically. And it was just that personal, and I wasn't about to show it to people. I did get that right, correct? You said it means a quiet sadness is what for you. Okay. We have a comment here from Sally. You've crossed the matrix. Haha, the best answer. That's awesome. Oh, and by the way, Kate, just so you know, I can see this. I don't think you can, but we've got about 8 people watching now. We've had 12. We've had 10. We've got an audience, and I'm super excited you're here. Stick around. It's gonna get just tough. Okay, this one should be interesting. If you could damn one person to hell, who would it be, and why? And it can be a person or a type of person, whichever you choose. You get to damn them to hell. You're in the hot zone.
That's easy response for pedophiles. Period. I would. It's hard to even qualify them as a person, but I think that fits. Yep. Yeah. Okay. That's someone where I don't feel bad about saying that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think he'd mind, but I think that was Spike's answer.
Yeah. Was it? Okay, well,
I don't think he'd mind me saying, because his show is live. I mean, it's on freaking YouTube. I can't imagine him minding if I tell you that was his answer. Yeah. That and the collaborators of pedophiles.
Exactly. Yep. Anything like that. Because
Spike says, "Fuck yeah!"
Yeah.
Well, and here's
be on my apocalypse team, dude.
Here's what's cool is that last year some of the questions were very. Not some, all of the questions were very specific to the guest who was on the show. Uh-huh. These 3 questions I'm asking you now are questions I kept because they were just so incredible. And I loved, they just keyed into so much about the person. So that was actually one of Spike's questions from last year.
Fire.
So the next one I have is, what is if there is something, I don't know, what is the one most taboo thing you would never use for your creative works?
Like what, like material or subject matter?
Yeah, I mean, you're a painter and artist. Is there something you wouldn't want to paint if you did a painting?
No, I mean, I wouldn't say like society taboo wise. Like, I'm not afraid of that. Like, I've painted nudes. Like, I paint like demons a lot of times, or gore stuff. I don't care about painting anything like that. Like, but there is like a personal taboo for me is that before I kind of went off the rails and before I got sober, I was doing watercolor painting. And I haven't gotten back into watercolors, even though I've been clean this whole time. And I used to be like really good at that. Like I used to like compete with that or like, showcase stuff when I was like 16 and 17. But I think for me personally, it's like a taboo thing for me to get back into watercolor. But now I've been thinking about it more. I guess like a personal taboo, like a personal fear for some unknown reason.
Do you think it's because it's attached to the days when you were using?
Yeah, it could be, or it's just, when I got clean, I wanted a totally new slate, and I started with acrylic paint. It was like something I'd never really done before, and I just got into that, and I succumbed there.
Well, I love that because, and I know you know my art. You've seen my art,
Yeah.
but I've been going live and I've been streaming, and what had occurred to me, and I hadn't even caught on to it, was that before I got clean and sober, everything was black and white. Everything was charcoal. Nothing was color.
Yeah.
Okay, like I didn't have hardly anything that had any color, and compared to what I do now,
very bright. I know it's funny.
Everything is super like fucking that. Bright. Everything. Yes. Sorry, I talked over you.
They're fine.
Yeah. No. Seriously, and like I hadn't even tapped into that realization until I was talking with some of my viewers that like I get more Twitch viewers than any of my other streamers because I stream to all the different platforms when I'm painting live, but it's the Twitch people that they're the like, no offense to anyone watching on any other platform. Because Twitch, when you're live on Twitch, total strangers can see that, like there.
They have the emojis are fun on Twitch.
Yes. And so I'm just, if you're an artist out there, if you want to build a following, don't forget Twitch.
Twitch is cool.
Okay, so that takes care of the Doris 3 Qs. Now I'm going to pop into what I call rapid fire words. Now these are 5 words that I picked out just for Katie.
Ooh.
Kate, excuse me.
How dare you?
You'll forgive me, right? Oh my God. Like, please forgive me. Wait, let me go back. I got to take this one off. Okay. So rapid fire words, these are very unique to you. They're words that came to my brain when I was musing with Kate, as I do when I prep for one of my shows. And the first one, I want you to just tell me what comes to mind when you hear butterfly.
Cocoon.
Is that, can you elaborate? Is that about like just the cocoon in general or the rebirth of it, or?
I mean, I think just when I think of butterfly, I automatically think of cocoon. And then second affiliation, the very hungry caterpillar. Do you remember that book?
No, wait.
You don't?
Very hungry. The very hungry caterpillar sounds very familiar.
Yeah, there's a children's book.
Okay. So, because I for me, like your artwork, I don't know that there's any butterflies in there. It's definitely not. It's definitely not butterflies and whatever's. But I love, I could see one of your pieces with a cocoon, and like I can almost visualize something of yours with a cocoon in it.
Yeah,
because a woman coming out of a cocoon. Oh, girl. I'll have to show you the one I have that has a woman coming out of a tree. Okay, the next word is Pop-Tart.
Man, you know what? I have a resentment against Pop-Tarts because my favorite Pop-Tart used to be the peanut butter and jelly Pop-Tart, and they don't make those anymore.
There was a peanut butter and jelly Pop-Tarts?
Yes, there was. In like 2016, 2017. Yeah.
How did I not know? How did I not know about that? Well, I guess it's a good thing because I would have wanted a peanut butter and jelly Pop-Tart.
Yeah, I'm still upset about it, honestly.
With chocolate drizzle on top.
No. Not chocolate drizzle. No, it was just like peanut butter and jelly inside, but it was good. I used to always buy those.
Now, what kind of jelly do you like?
Strawberry.
So can you get to the strawberry Pop-Tarts and put a layer of peanut butter on top?
I know, but you know when you like want one thing? Like if I had one today, I might not even like it, but because it's unattainable, it's like really desirable to me, you know?
Oh, well, you don't have to go any further on that one. I have an entire poem called Unattainable.
Yeah.
Because of the desire that comes with that that angst. Okay, your next word is genuine.
Oh, okay. Authentic. And then second association, leather, like genuine leather products.
Oh, right. There's a difference.
Yes, there is. And I don't like leather stuff. I usually will get it from a thrift store or eBay because I don't want to like feel bad, you know. But it is the.
I was going to ask. That's ironic you said that because I was going to ask you if you. I know I don't think you're vegan. Have you ever considered it? Considering how much you love animals and insects and stuff.
I eat fish,
I'm just curious.
And then I try my best not to eat dairy products. Like I mostly will eat almond or coconut products, but you know, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I lapse on cheese. It's hard.
So it's more, it sounds to me like you're more kind of a pescatarian / vegetarian. Yeah. That's cool. I don't know what it would be called, but I'm mostly vegetarian. No, I'm mostly pescatarian with chicken.
But also, like, do we need a label for our diets? I don't know.
No,
I feel like,
no.
like, whatever.
I actually can't. I know, like, for me, and I don't think you know this. I had gastric bypass like 16 fucking years ago or some shit. 380 was 380 pounds was my heaviest.
Crazy. I think I saw you had posted like a before and after photo on something, and we're talking about how you were.
Like, it's not the same. He said it's not the same. Well, so going back to what you said about labels and titles, I don't do labels and titles. I don't even like to give labels and titles to people when they ask me about gender or sexuality, because personally, it's none of their fucking business. Unless you're gonna be my partner.
Exactly.
Peace out, bro, or sis. Not and or, well, I don't know, and or depends on my mood. I don't know. Anyway, this is about Kate. So, what was I talking about?
Oh, eating fish and stuff.
Oh, what you said about titles and food and diet. Okay, so for me, I have to sum it down real simple. I can't eat. I have to keep it to stuff that will not make me sick.
Yeah, that's what it is.
There are some things that will legit make me sick, and as long as I'm not eating crap that would make me sick, I'm good.
It's just when I've gotten older, I found that dairy really bothers my stomach. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your next word is ruby red.
Slippers.
Ooh, slippers.
Yeah. Wizard of Oz.
Oh, yes. Okay. I'm the painter who gives ruby red as a cue word to a painter, and you come up with slippers. I don't know. I mean, that's perfect. That's rad. Was it? Ooh. There's no place like home, right?
Yes. Yeah.
You know, one of the things I love about that movie is the whole man behind the curtain thing.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't want to. Well, and we were just on the word genuine, and we were talking about authenticity and being authentic. And when I think of that, I always think about that man behind the curtain in that movie. And that, because that, you know, there was that message in that movie. There was so many messages in that movie. Gratitude is all over that movie. You know, being grateful for what you have. You know, why let me just go home because this shit that I thought I wanted is so not even, you know? And your last word is kangaroo.
Australia.
Have you ever been, where's the furthest you've ever traveled?
I haven't been many places. I would say like Ensenada, Mexico, and then I've been to Vancouver, like in Canada areas. Like, I haven't traveled a lot, but you know, only like recently have I been able to, like, where I've had my shit together enough to do cool stuff like that.
Well, and I wasn't really thinking about kangaroo to ask you about traveling, but as a painter, it as you're talking about it and you say Australia, I have been communicating with one of my friends in New York who he used to live in Queens and now I think he lives on the island. I can't remember. Anyway, I'm planning. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some money saving. It's going to take whatever, but I need to go to New York. I need to go back. I've been once. I want to go back again. So in particular to your painting as an artist, can you think of somewhere where you really want to go to kind of muse a painting out of you? Of some kind.
Like one time, my sister and I went to New Orleans, and I thought that was one of the coolest fucking places I've ever been. We're really into. I know you like Anne Rice too, but like vampire stuff and like.
Well, I grew up 45 minutes. I grew up 45 minutes outside of New Orleans.
Yes, it was the coolest trip I've ever been to. It was the first trip I ever went on clean with my sister. That made me realize, like, I'm an adult and I can take a fucking trip if I want to. Like, I can make that happen, you know. And the architecture there is so rad. I love the cemeteries, but my idea of a nice place to paint would be like out on the swamp, like trying to find like the Rougarou Cajun werewolf and shit. Yeah, that to me is like a great painting atmosphere.
Okay, if you, I'll take you. Like we should. Okay, because everything you just said is exactly the theme of the poetry collection I'm working on. The one I'm working on right now is called "This Is Not Emotional Burlesque," and it's about my childhood. And I just said everything you just said is in that book. The graveyard, the swamp stuff. There's all kinds of images of that stuff in there.
Yeah.
So I could, oh girl, and knowing what you paint and how amazing you are, the things that I could see you painting from down there while we're down there. Oh my God. Natalie is here. Woohoo! Hi! Okay, so those are your rapid fire words. So now we're going to move on to a little treat I have for you.
Okay.
Let's see. Let's talk about this first. Oh, wait. Let me pause. Hold on. Okay, there's no sound. But let's talk about this. Before we say anything else about this, you and I know what this is. And what this is going to lead us to talk about. But what's the name of this piece?
Saints and Sirens.
That is the name of the piece.
Yep.
Wow. So let's talk about this piece, not what we're going to talk about next. And I know you know what I'm going to go next on. But where did this come from?
Well, you know what? This painting is how me and Van got close. He had hit me up and said that he wanted me to do his album cover. He gave me complete creative freedom, and he just told me the name of the album was Saints and Sirens, and he would send me random samplings of the songs or lyrical content of it. And I think the first one he sent me was Black Centipedes. Yeah, I was like, he's like, you're gonna like this one. It's about centipedes. I'm like, sick. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So and I don't know, like bunnies, duh, and then skulls for sure, and then saints and sirens, like a saint, someone like a glorified religious figure, and then a siren, someone who lures men to death. So I thought it was great to have it be a woman with the skull, and then she's doing the Catholic traditional saint symbol, right? Yeah. And then holding the bunny.
And she's holding now. I know she's holding a bunny. Is that just solely because of Van?
Well, I love bunnies too. I didn't get Rupert till about a year ago, but yeah, it was the bunnies, and I think like the title and a lot of the lyrical content of the songs, it's almost as if she's dual of like life and death, like saint and sinner, or siren, right? But then she's also guarding and holding this little bunny, white of like purity and innocence, close to her, like protecting him.
That's what I was going to key in on, and what I wanted to ask was the bunny is it's a representation, a symbol for the opposite of a siren and what a siren does, and in a certain way it's almost misleading. Like it makes you think she's like almost as if she you ever see how does that go, the bait and switch bait and switch, where you give someone an opinion or a perception of you, but so I'm holding the bunny, I'm all safe. Where was this picture taken? Where was this picture taken?
Oh, that was in Van's room at Sarah's house. Okay.
And where's the actual painting?
It was with Van, and then I believe it was in his storage unit, and I believe its current location is with his sister. I'm not sure. I didn't want to at that time intrude to ask,
Oh, you mean like me when I intruded to ask where the one is that I gave him?
Well, whatever. I don't know. I understand that it's crossed my mind too, just out of curiosity. But then I'm like, you know what? Whoever it ends up with, even if it's not me or whatever, it's everyone knows what it is. That's close to him, so it'll end up with someone that cares.
Yeah. Well, and for those that are watching, we do have 12 people watching us right now. You're more than welcome to throw up a comment or a question. This is the album cover for Saints and Sirens that this painting was used for, and this particular album was up for, I think the voting period is done and over with, but yes, this album was nominated for Best Hip Hop Album of 2020 by the San Diego Music Awards. So I mean, just having this album win for a million reasons you know, but in addition to that, just when I think about your artwork and I think about how the artwork came about and the piece came about and the relationship came about, Spike wants to know, have you ever painted with the blood of your enemies? And if not, why?
Well, I just got off probation not too long ago, so.
Hey, you know, this is a good point. Have you ever painted with blood at all?
I wouldn't say like in a formal way. Like I haven't like created like a masterpiece with it. I would say I found my journal from when I was in high school, and there's definitely some stuff like that in there, you know. But I wouldn't say like a thought out piece.
No, I know, but like, was there actual real blood in there?
Yeah.
Okay. The reason I ask is because I haven't used real blood in any of my paintings, and I'll say yet. And if you're watching and that bothers you, fuck off, or call me later. We'll talk about it. But I needed a certain red for one of my paintings, and I couldn't. Not a single fucking red in any of my paint was good enough, and I ended up using that fake blood shit out of my Halloween basket.
Yeah.
Because I like dressing up. I'm all about dressing up. So this is the end. When we open the album, this is you. I didn't realize that was you. I'm so like, woohoo, haha. Like I already knew this. I had already met you, you know. But like, I love everything about the album, the layout, the way it was done. And was there any reason in particular? Did he ask? He just wanted you to be in there because you're the artist on the. Yeah.
I didn't know he was gonna do that. He had
Really? He surprised you?
Yeah, I didn't know that. Like he'd hooked me up with merch. Like I don't know. So the first time we ever met in person was he had commissioned something. Hi, Devin.
Devin says the people want to know, and I think he's talking about whether or not you used blood.
I don't know. It's on a to-do list. I've seen some cool things. I follow like 2 artists on Facebook and Instagram that do. One's a female, and she does moon paintings, which is like with period blood, and it looks cool. I think it's a cool concept. And then another's a guy who just used actual blood to paint like, you know, cool dark shit. And I think it's rad. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, I have in addition to the pilgrimage trip I want to make to New York, and then now we have to go to New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
And you can come to New York with me, because girl, the things we could paint. Oh, I lost my train of thought. It'll come back. It's okay. So blood. I know it had something to do with blood. Oh well, it's gone. We're okay. I don't want to run out of time, because we got to leave room and space for the special treats that we're gonna have at the end. So let me make sure I'm okay. Yep, I know where I'm at. All right. So now I'm going to add this to our stream.
Okay.
And ask you. Okay. So first off, this is a digital.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me about your work with digital and how much of that have you done? And before you do that, Diane says I can directly.
Yeah, so send us the list.
I can direct you. Oh my God. She goes, I can direct you to my enemies for supplies. I think she's talking about the blood.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna, okay, yeah. We'll become these like Nightcrawler painting girls that like we tell people tell us who their enemies are, and we go get their blood and we paint their painting. We go paint. Like Steven has a bunch of Okay, so tell me about Vitality, or tell me about digital illustration in general.
It's something I started getting into during the beginning of lockdown with COVID. I had a tablet. Like I use my iPad for reference photos because I can blow up stuff better when I'm painting. And then I see so much cool digital art, and so I bought the Procreate app. And this is, I don't do it as much as I'd like to get better. I do it here and there, but it's fun. It's really a lot more challenging than traditional painting for me.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a whole new thing. I feel dated in my age with that.
No, I don't know that it's dated at all. I think for me, I can't speak for you. I do know that the why I wanted to bring it up was so that people watching know that you are a versatile artist. It's not just about acrylics. We already found out you have done watercolors before, even though you may not be doing them right this minute.
Yeah.
But digital work is where I have definitely not gotten into creating digital art. However, I have been, as you know, because I know you've been following it, I did illustrate my first haiku series, which is kind of sort of like a comic book, but not, where I did the original art, but then I digitally manipulated it or jacked up the contrast. Mostly, honestly, Kate, most of it was just jacking the contrasts up for the book. That's really
it's just messing around in there and figuring out what works, and like if you have trouble watching a YouTube tutorial, but I don't know. I think I want to be good at all different mediums.
Spike wants to know Dracula versus Lestat. How hard does Lestat get his ass kicked?
Pretty hard. I don't know. Lestat's probably like one of the coolest ones in that series, but he's definitely a vampire bitch kind of, like a whiny baby. Yeah.
Well, I disagree only because I would answer this question from the fact that Lestat is actually, once you read the whole series and you find out who Lestat actually is and how he was made and the fact that he has the blood of the origin vampire queen, Egyptian woman. If you were to follow Anne Rice's thing, okay, Lestat is borderline god. He's a borderline god. So if they're not even, I don't know, it's kind of a funny question because they're like two completely different theories. Dracula.
Because then you could say though that Dracula would technically be like the originating vampire. I don't know. I just feel like in a lot of the stuff, Lestat doesn't seem like, I don't know, up to battle though. Like he seems more manipulative.
Oh yeah. Okay. So then, now we go in. Now, if we want to look at it from the perspective that the man who Dracula was, being that he was a warrior, right? I think the actual man before you. Right? Vampire bitch off. Lestat versus Lewis. Who loses? Oh, wow. Oh, that's a good question. I think Lestat wins because I don't think Lewis would even be bothered to fight. He's such a little... Okay, so I wanted to talk about Oracle because I just this is what you've just done recently, right?
Yes.
It's one of your most recent pieces. This is one of why I brought it up. And it was a commissioned piece, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about this one.
It was a Facebook friend who my first time meeting her was to give her that, but she had just told me that she wanted a painting, gave me the size that she wanted to get, and just said, I said, do you have any like color requirements or anything? And again, gave me creative freedom and said that she likes like my spooky stuff, but she also likes girly stuff. And I was like, okay, this is fun. I can do this.
Nice. So well, because I was going to ask because it's like a what do you call those things? What's those balls that like the
snow globes?
Well, snow globe comes to mind, but I was thinking more along the lines of like a psychic person.
Oh yeah, like a crystal ball.
Crystal ball.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, is that what this is like? It's supposed to represent it, or is it a snow globe?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say associated with the snow globe because it's like the Christmas trees. It looks like that, like it's like furs, and then there is snow. Like it's supposed to be like a wintry scene. But yeah, it is supposed to be a crystal ball.
Oh, crystal ball was where my head went because, as we have already established, I grew up outside of New Orleans. I know all. Yeah, one of my foster group home roommates was an actual Wiccan. I think that, although that's probably not what she would call herself. I don't really honestly know what the name of it was. I do know that she grew up in New Orleans and they practiced voodoo or a form of voodoo.
Yeah.
And I actually watched her work spells in the group home. It was pretty trippy. And they worked. That was what was even crazier. This is also something people may not know that you do that I wanted you to talk about. This was, as painful, as emotionally painful as I knew the memorial for Van would be,
Yeah.
And I know you already know this, but I'm going to say it out loud live for everyone who's watching right now because as a painter, it was an experience I got to emotionally survive that day because you were there painting. I like attached myself to you. And like I camped up in your little corner and I'm like, hi Kate, I'm gonna be your best friend today, Kate.
Whatever, I was glad to have met you, but I relate. Like that's why this is like I was telling you, this is my first time having a thing where I'm live talking on camera, but painting is my comfort zone. It allows me to like focus on one thing. Otherwise I get anxiety about stuff, and it was an emotional day. So I felt like it was my life raft too, was to be able to just focus on painting. I can just look at the reference photo and the details and all that, I got to focus and zone in on that. I totally understand that.
So when you do something like this, where you're live painting like this, was this just something you did for friends, or do people pay you to do this? Are you getting actually commissioned to do this?
I'm not getting paid to do this. It's like for fun, and then also it helps me to like meet people or like do cool stuff, and I don't know, I enjoy it too. But this was, my mom's in a Fleetwood Mac tribute band called Fleetwood Macs. And so I invited Steven to do it with me, where he painted Mitch Fleetwood and I was painting Stevie Nicks. So
I know, I love that.
Yeah, it was
fun. I see pictures of you guys and I'm like, well, I put relationship goals.
Yeah.
I'm 51. I haven't found it. So we'll see. Okay, what else? I'm like, what do I have next in here? Oh, I just have this is where people can find you, as the @muted dysphoria. That's Kate, man. That's what I had like queued and prepped. And I mean, we're not done. We're definitely not done. Because, I do want to give you some time to give us a studio tour. Okay. As you know, we talked about this. Yes. For everyone who's watching, Kate is going to give us a special treat tour of her studio and show us some of her pieces and give us an idea of what she's got. So I'm going to put her in a solo layout, and she is, you can still hear me, right, Kate?
Yes, I can.
All right. Give us a tour, baby girl.
Well, I just wanted to preface this by saying I don't actually have a studio space. It's my bedroom.
Katie says, hey.
Yeah.
Katie is here.
More importantly, here's Rupert.
Spike says, where's my art? So as she's going around, you guys, for you guys that are watching, go ahead and make sure you ask questions about whatever she might be. Oh, show us this. Okay, yes. This was in the intro video when we the video we were watching when we came live. Yeah. Is it done now, Kate?
No, it's not done. I'm still working on it, but when it is done, it's going to be hanging in Queen Bees in the radio showroom that Van was working at.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was wondering, and so I don't know if you heard me, but Spike said, "Where's my art?"
Well, you know what? Spike said that to me yesterday too.
Did he commission you to do a piece?
Yeah, he's doing a graphic novel, and he asked me to do the art for it. So
nice.
I am, yeah.
That's exciting.
Yes. So this is like the spare bedroom. This is where I like mostly paint, and as you can see, where Rupert lives too. But,
Katie says, so fucking good.
Yeah. This is my bedroom.
Ooh, okay. I see the wall. Oh my God, we're getting here. Holy shit. And there's all the tarantulas.
Yep. I got two shelves.
So there's a piece. I feel like I missed something. There were in the video. I don't know why, but it was supposed to be in this video I did for you. There's a piece that you have. Oh, it's in the intro video. Do you know the one where the lady? I don't know. I'll come up with it.
Is it called Mar? It's like a salmon colored background and like the skull chick.
I think so. No,
yeah,
it's the one. Oh, Steven says fire.
Fire.
Okay, I do know, like, I see one right there in the corner. It's below the chick with the big breasts. You see what? Look, Kate, right behind you. See her? Okay, I want you to know
I'm on the
that
bed
one,
to show you.
that not the girl throwing up, but that one right there is one of my favorites.
The owl chick.
Is she? Is that her? Is that what that is? If her face is an owl?
Yes.
No wonder I love it. Because I'm sitting there going, I'm like, I know that I need one of yours.
Yeah.
We should.
Yeah, and then my
heart. I need to win the lottery so I can just, go buy all the art I want. Maybe you and I should just settle for giving each other a piece for a starter.
I'll do an art.
Just for starters, just to say, just in case one of us, Anyway, so anybody else got anything out? Like what else? Let's see. I know there's something else I was thinking of. Show me something else.
Oh.
What's the piece in that room that you've had the longest? Do you know?
Some of my first ones that I were doing were these, like, the 12 by 12s.
Okay.
So
yeah, I
have a few and stuff.
I have a few 14 by 14s I did that I kind of like the square, not so much. So Steven said to show us the spiders.
Okay. He wants to make sure that they're all okay.
Natalie said those are amazing. And Katie says the people want to see the spiders. Hey, she's a painter. We need to sell her art, peeps. Come on. So tell me, okay, so I'm gonna put you on the spot. What's the most expensive piece you have in that room?
Oh, that I'm selling for?
Not discounted, not any discounting thing. I'm talking about, what do you feel? What's the one? Do you have a piece in that room right now that you would? Because I have one right now that is the center of the universe in my room. Hayden said I need to buy some more pieces from you.
Thank you, Katie. Katie's rad. When I started selling my art, I was told that it was best to just price by size. So for me, it's more like anything that's the same size is the same price, whether it took me more time or not. That's just how I started off doing, because it was just easy.
Yeah.
And people understood that more when doing commissions and everything. But
I think I relatively do the same thing.
Yeah. It's just easier to translate that, but there's certain pieces where I'm like, oh, I wanted to keep that one, or I wish I kept that one,
Yeah.
I would say my favorite right now is the wolf.
That was okay, because thank you for saying that, because my next question, even though I hadn't even thought of it until you said that, was if you really it's for sale. Okay, but what's the one piece you have in there that you're totally fine if it never sells? Is it the wolf?
Yeah, it's the wolf. Or also, my favorite one is one that I called Prodigal, and it's this chick.
Oh, that's rad.
Yeah,
hold on.
Her
Get in
clothes made of syringes.
Oh, now the one right behind your head, the girl with the bikini bottom and the her. What's behind her head? What's behind her head coming to the sides? Are those wings, feathers?
Wings. Yeah, wings.
She's fucking rad. She's fucking rad. How much is she priced for?
I believe $350 for that size. Because you know what? I offer free shipping too.
Way more than
it's expensive to ship stuff.
Oh, 100%. Well, yeah. Spike knows that I have art, and I told him to pick something out, and he just has to come to Ramona to get it. Who wants to come to Ramona to get it? Yeah, I need to win the lottery, okay?
Me too.
I'm just saying, man. I am just in love with everything you have. Totally in love with your art, and I love so much of it. And it's weird because I don't know what I did with it. I thought it was in one of the videos. Oh, it is in this video. How did we miss this? Oh, you know what? We must have played past it. I wanted to ask you. See, when you were going around, this was a portrait commission.
Yes.
I knew I was missing something. So tell me about this. Someone asked you. Spike says, haha, I will. Well, Spike, come on. Although I have to, I have some new pieces too. But anyway, okay. So portrait commission. This is a person, I'm assuming. This person.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what's funny is like a lot of support for my art has come from meme groups. Like during COVID, I was active in a lot of meme groups, and so one of my friends, online friends that I made from a meme group, had sent me this picture of his girlfriend and asked if I would be willing to paint a portrait of her so he could surprise her. And so I did. And then what was cool is when he gifted it to her, he stood by and took a picture of her opening it, and she was gonna cry. It was the sickest thing. Like it made my fucking day. Yeah, it was rad.
I'm so glad that it occurred to me that I missed something, because this is the kind of thing I don't think I see a lot of. I see painters and I see comics people and I see what I do even, but to take someone, to take their likeness and and I don't want anyone out there who does art a different way to get offended, but it's not the same as what you just did with this. This is a fine art painting.
It's a lot of pressure doing.
I'm assuming this was an acrylic?
Huh?
Is this one in an acrylic?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Everything that I've posted has been in acrylic. Yeah.
Have you ever tried oil? Any interest?
I really want to, but it can be toxic to tarantulas.
Oh yeah, don't bother.
I don't want to do it in my house.
Well, I think this, but I'm working on an oil painting that I started with because of this. I wanted to do an oil painting. I think that's the only thing on this reel. I hit play to make sure. Yeah, we went through the rest. Okay. Yeah. I just wanted to make sure we went through the rest of what I had on that particular reel. My Kate reels. But yeah, this oil painting, fuck this oil painting. Okay. I ended up switching to acrylics. I literally, I got to a point, it was too dark, then it was too light, then it was too dark. And then I can't find the right kind of thinner. I loaned the thinner to my son because he needed to do some painting, and I gave him some oil paints in the thinner, and yeah, fuck that oil painting. I mean, there's a couple of, that's a good question. I don't know if this is true for you, but do you have any piece around you right now in that room that you had a love-hate relationship with when you were creating it?
No, I don't know, not really. I guess sometimes I'll feel a frustration with certain parts of stuff,
Right.
I feel that way mostly, honestly, when I'm doing portraits, where I'm a lot of my other stuff is out of my head, or I'll use reference photos for things, but I have that freedom. But a portrait, it has to be that person's face, Yeah,
exactly. Well, the one you did a van with the one you did at the memorial. Mm-hmm. He's got his bunny hat thingy on. Yeah. Have you thought or considered, or has it occurred to you to do a painting portrait of Van?
Yeah, I want to do, that one picture of him in the...
This is Joshua. He's the one I mentioned earlier that had interviewed me, and he's has a podcast called Just Joshing.
Yeah,
and Just Joshing podcast.
Facebook friends today.
Nice. Okay. Great show, Dori looking, and he's going to be on our Spotlights show, and he's going to be one of our featured spotlights in August.
Awesome.
So okay, go back to the question about Van.
I was going to say, someone had posted a photo of him in, do you remember the movie A Christmas Story, the pink rabbit suit, the onesie pajama suit?
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm I want to do that picture. I have... With
Van's likeness?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, do you have a picture of Van in one of those bunny suits? Does someone out there have a picture of Van in an actual bunny suit, not the bunny hat thing.
Not
But
the
an
bunny
actual
hat
bunny.
thing. It's not my photo. I'm trying to see where I have this.
Katie
I
said
don't know.
that
I'll
would,
have to send you a
Katie
picture
said that
later.
would be so dope. Well, the reason I asked, because I know you, because you know about the portrait I did, which is a super simple, basic sketch.
Yeah, super good.
Yeah. But I kept it, I wanted to keep it in a sketched form as opposed to painted for a lot of reasons, most of which we don't need to talk about in this format of
Right.
why it didn't get painted. Katie says there's definitely one out there of him in a bunny suit.
Yeah, in a pink bunny suit at that.
Yes! Katie! That's your homework, Katie. You gotta go find it. We need this reference photo.
No, I have it saved on my tablet. I was just
have it. Okay.
There's this random project called the Sketchbook Project, where you pay and get a notebook, and then you get to draw and sketch and paint in it or whatever, and then they send it in, and it becomes part of a little mini art library where people can check out your book. And I started painting this portrait of him in there, but it's a little paper sketchbook, I was trying to find it.
What made me curious was, of course, knowing that you had done that portrait commission that I came across on your page. I absolutely adore it, and I know I didn't say this to you before, but one of the reasons I love it is because it reminds me of a Nagel. I didn't say that before, but that particular portrait commission that I just put up, it's way better than a Nagel. Sorry, Patrick. I don't think Patrick Nagel is Patrick Nagel still alive? If you are, I love you.
I'm just kidding.
Is it? If Patrick Nagel's still alive, I love you, Mr. Nagel. Please don't be upset. But anyway, the other reason I loved it was because I felt like some Nagel coming out of me when I was doing some of these illustrations for my book. And I've never really considered any of what I've done to even come close to looking like a Nagel, but I had one. Anyway, it made me think of that. Okay, J.R. Nick says Matthew Huff.
Oh, I think he's tagging our friend to come in here. Yeah, J.R.
Okay.
Cool.
I'm like,
too.
Yep. Okay. So we have gone through the spitlights. We have done the Dory's 3-spot questions and rapid fire words. And now we're going to throw in some overflow questions. I don't get to take credit for these. These are not mine. Loopy Squirrel says, no, this is not a podcast, Loopy Squirrels. This is called a talk show.
What a cool username.
Loopy! Loopy follows me on Twitch. He is one of my Twitch followers who watches me paint. JR says, yes, I'm tagging Matt.
Yeah.
Yes, to answer your question, it's technically a talk show, but yes, some people call these podcasts. I don't call them podcasts. To me, a podcast is when I can just hear you, but I could be wrong.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so let's go real quick, some time, and then I'm going to let you go. Greatest turn on, other than Steven.
Just everything Steven all the time. I would say, someone who is pursuing their own shit and not caring about what other people do, which is exactly how Steven is,
Loopy's just waking up, don't mind me. And I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Turn on again.
Oh, turn on. I was going to say someone who's in pursuit of doing their own shit and their own goals, and not someone who, I don't know, focuses on what other people do or that gives a fuck about things like that. Like that, to me, that's the most attractive thing, is someone who has a vision for themselves. A hustler.
Yeah. Grit. There's a word in my, one of the poems in my book is called grit. And
it's a good word.
I can't wait to finish the artwork for it, Kate, because I can't wait to show it to you.
I want to see.
Biggest turnoff. Well, the artwork for that particular poem is all snakes.
Ooh.
That's why I'm like, I can't wait to show
I love it.
Biggest turn off.
Turn off. God, there's so many in the world. I guess there is.
Even what? Let's make this is okay. Let's make sure. Let's give him a list. Just kidding.
He already knows.
He already knows. He's like, I'm good. I know.
Have that false overconfidence to the point of cockiness and being rude to other people because of it. I think that's the most like disgusting thing.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Gatekeeping stuff, or people that are just negative towards other people. Like, it takes a lot of courage to put your art or your music out there, you know, and for people to be rude when people are putting their hearts and souls out there. I think that's like a huge turnoff for me.
That's a big, you know, you just clued into some of the challenges I was having with the world of comic book people, comic stuff. I 100% no experience, zero experience in that world.
Yeah.
You know, 32 years in healthcare. Okay. I have navigated and had to mitigate around egotistical maniacal men for 3 fucking decades. And I hope Spike's still watching, because I'm really curious, because I don't understand. So I go into this world where I'm illustrating and I'm thinking about illustrating and I'm watching people illustrate and I'm thinking about this and I'm thinking about that. And I have encountered more egotistical, chauvinistic types than I really would have ever expected. And then I thought about it. I had to sit back and think about it. And I asked someone, I said, is this like the comedy world? Because in stand-up, because you know I'm a comic as well. Mm-hmm. In stand-up comedy, no offense to any man who's watching right now, but stand-up comedy is a swinging dicks, male-dominated world, man.
Yeah.
That's all that shit is. And they all got dick jokes. Every male comic has a dick joke. It's blah, 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 blah. It's like the chick, you know, it's like female comics do, you know, the male bashing, guilty as charged, right? So anyway, I don't know. I just wasn't expecting it. I don't know. Maybe it was a naivete. Maybe it was naive of me to think that, you know, because it was comic books, that the guys would behave, or that they would be nice, or they would be. I really thought
that being a nice person and really being about your shit will pay off in the end. Like, I know I'm not like the best painter in the world, but like I'm fucking nice and like I like get along with people, and so it's like, a lot of my friends will help me along with stuff, and like that's how you network and build connections. Is, you know, believing in yourself, like putting your shit out there, and then anyone who's rude in that way, like you have to think, would you rather be you, the courageous one, putting your stuff out there and pursuing your dreams, or would you rather be the motherfucker like talking shit in a Facebook group?
Right? Exactly. Thank you. I really needed to hear what you just said. Okay, so Spike says comic book writers are fuckers. Thank you, Spike. I love you.
Spike's signing our shit today.
For anyone who's watching, you know, if you like me at all, even a little bit, high five Spike, because not a single word of my poetry or my art would be out there in any kind of published way if it wasn't for that man.
Yeah.
So there. So there. JR Nick says truth. Right? And Diane says superiority and inferiority can come from the same fear, not being good enough.
Yeah, true. Flip of the coin.
And Katie does say Spike is the man, 100%. Spike is the one. I asked him, I'm like, hey, do you know how I could do this or get a hold of someone who could maybe help me publish my poetry book? And he's like, go do it yourself. And that's what I did. And you know what's really crazy about that? And you know, it's exactly like Van, when I was telling Van about how I was going to work on, you know, spoken word poetry albums, but I needed to find people to compose the music for me. And Van said, why don't you do it yourself with, you know, you got an iPhone, you got GarageBand, go do your own music.
Yeah, but sometimes it is that simple, because, you know, I would tell Van if I had anxiety about something, he's like, you just do it. Just do it.
Always be like, where's my art and stuff? And yeah, and so what happens, as you know, for those of you that know, that's exactly what I did. All of the music on the Magic Man album, in tribute to Van, every poem on that album was written for him.
Yeah. And
most of them were written, the only ones he never got to hear were the ones I wrote after he passed.
Well, he didn't get to hear them. He just didn't get to hear them in this.
Oh, I have a very keen sense he was here in the room when I composed them. actually, like his painting that I have that I ended up with was I was actually supposed to give it to him the Sunday after he died.
Yeah.
We had made arrangements to meet up, but that never happened. And then Diane said, "Yay, Spike!" Okay, so the last couple of questions is, what is your favorite cuss word?
Motherfucker.
Nice. I
So
like
powerful,
motherfucker.
so many syllables. It feels good to say.
And I think motherfucker is even better than just fucker or fuck. Like,
yeah, and you can enunciate it in like an affectionate way, like motherfucker. You know what I mean? Or you can be angry, like multiple uses. I love it.
well, what's really cool about that is one of my favorite gurus had a show, and I just posted about it, where he says, "Kill you ego." Oh, not you. I can't look. You guys don't. Spell check. I didn't have an editor here for that. He says, "Kill your ego."
Yeah.
And the guy, he follows it up. He's this very well-bred looking, mannered British guy with a British accent, and he follows that up with a comment where he says, "That motherfucker has no place in your growth." And he uses the word motherfucker, and in my comedy series called Hey Siri, Read My Comedy to Me, where I make my Siri phone read my stand-up comedy to me.
Yeah.
I use a male British voice because it's hysterical.
Yeah,
my comedy, for those of you that don't know, is pretty fucking funny.
Yes.
Speaking of ego, you got to have an ego in comedy. Sorry. Katie says, "Kate, you're the best."
So are you, my namesake? We have the same name, so of course we're awesome.
One of these days, maybe Spike knows, Katie is from a movie, I think. Katie, or a song, and it fucking plays in my head whether I'm talking about Kate or Katie, and I don't know. I can't remember what it's from.
My association, like when I was little, I'm pretty sure that in the movie, the Taming the Shrew, isn't the girl's name like Kate or Catherine?
Yeah. Kate. Yeah.
Yeah, they say the
Taming
song,
the
Kiss
Shrew.
Me, Kate.
Kiss Me, Kate. And, that's Elizabeth Taylor.
Yeah, my mom used to always tell me that it was in Taming the Shrew.
Yes. And Katharine Hepburn is in. Her nickname was Kate.
Yeah.
What activity do you love other than the spiders or Steven or art?
I like hiking.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I did not know that about you.
I don't go that frequently because I'm always working on art stuff, and I also have a normal job too. But when I can, I like to go hiking to different spots. I think it's cool. It's good way to exercise and be interested in nature at the same time.
I got seriously into, like, addictively into hiking.
Yeah.
Right after I seriously was addicted to boogie boarding. Right after I was seriously addicted to, I've been addicted to a lot of things since I got clean.
Yeah, this is relatable content.
Loopy says, "Best and worst life experience that helped shape who you are." Whoa, Loopy's late to the show. This won't stop. He's late to the show, and he's taking us down a road of some seriousness now.
Okay, we'll go to the depths of hell. So I would just say it is the best and worst at the same time, right? I'm clean and sober now, but I was a heroin addict from the age of 17 to 30, and that just totally drugged me to the depths. And that's why a lot of my art is inspired by, you'll see like poppy flowers or things of that sort, and
right,
metaphors for that. And it was the worst for an obvious reason, right? And then it was the best though because like when you ask me how's my day going, my day's going fucking great. Like I didn't wake up dope sick. I didn't wake up in jail. I've been to jail. I've had like a lot of shitty things happen like in relation to that. So it's made me eternally grateful for little shit that I didn't have then. So it's both.
I'm not sure what Spike's answering here. In not sure, but Ms. LeDub should write that.
Oh, about the Katie.
Katie, right? I don't know what that's from, but I started saying it around the time that Katie was going to be on my show.
Yeah. You might have just made it up. Have you ever done that? I've done that.
Well, I am that kind of genius, but still. What activity do you hate?
Doing laundry.
What part of laundry? Is it the folding or is it the?
It's the occupancy of the time of day. Like it takes a lot of time out of my day to do it, and then I'll get absorbed in whatever I'm doing, where I forget to switch stuff over, and then it takes even longer.
I have had to get diligent about setting the timer on my phone.
I need to do that.
Because luckily my roommate's machines, because we have them here at the house. Luckily, thank God I live in a place that actually has a washer and dryer.
Yeah.
Luckily, they are digital. So
yeah. That's
yeah, so that's all we've got, folks. So yeah, so I this is that part of the show where I get to tell you, okay, so I started doing spotlights, and I'm just going to answer this question because it has been the single same question everyone's asked, even last year. So I'm just going to say the reason I started the spotlight show last year, it was called On the Spots, was to give back to people like myself, and to highlight and spotlight creators, talents, artistic people, because this dark world, these depictions you have on the wall, it's one of the reasons I love your art. And when I think about what my art was like before I got clean and sober, I think about, and then this is what I love about how art comes out of who it comes out of. As you know, we've already talked about this. My stuff turned to color.
Yeah.
And your stuff is and you've got tons of color. But I haven't done anything dark like I did before. It's weird to me now when I think about it. I'm like, it's interesting. Don't you find that interesting how like we both got clean?
Yes.
But do you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm asking.
Yeah, I do. I know what you mean.
Paul says, you are both awesome ladies. You touch people's lives. Keep it going. Right?
Yeah, that's my dad.
Yeah. To everyone who's out there creating and painting and writing and rapping and music and whoever you are. The other reason I did it was because, have you ever seen Benny and June?
No.
The movie Benny and June. So the character June in that movie is played by Mary Stuart Masterson, and she is a woman who's mentally ill, but she's a painter. And she develops a relationship with the housekeeper called Mrs. Smales. But Mrs. Smales quits because the girl is insane. Like, she's literally a mental case. And, Johnny Depp comes along, and she tells the brother that she wants Johnny Depp to be her new Smale. And so the word smell for me, and I don't even remember, I'd have to look up when that movie came out. But that name, Smales, became the same as saying muse for me.
Okay, I was thinking like snails.
No, it's Smales. In the movie, it's a Smails. So a muse, I know most of us know what a muse is.
Yes.
Brian says, Bridie looks good on both of you. Woohoo!
Thank you.
Yeah. So you're definitely anyone. You, Spike, Katie, J. Andrew, all of you guys, all of you are muses. You're my Smales. When I need to pull from the depths of whatever I need to pull from to create something, so that's why I have created this show. So now that means Helen says, Kate was the first person I ever felt comfortable around to paint in front of. Love you, dude. Nice.
I love you too.
That's rad, Helen.
Same.
Well, Mother's Day this year was the first time I ever went live painting on Facebook and a couple of other whatevers. And I don't even want to talk about, I was painting online 3 hours yesterday.
That's cool though.
I think I've become addicted to it. So basically now, so we're at that point in the show where I get to tell you, Kate, you're off the spot. You're off the spot.
Well, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. But that means you get to do something that I allow all of my guests to do. You get to ask me something. I don't care what it is, unfiltered, unsolicited, whatever you feel like asking. I can't be blackmailed, and I will answer you. So I'm just saying, this is your opportunity to ask me something that you feel that you wanted to know or wanted to ask or something you're curious about. And I mean it when I say I'll answer you.
Do you remember the first poem you ever wrote?
No.
What?
No. I do know who it was written about.
Okay.
It was written about a boy named Mason.
Mm-hmm.
I was in 10th grade. I was in love for the first time in my existence of life. And it's funny, Mason, his name is Mason, and it's so cool. I don't know, he's not watching. He hasn't been here today, but he's on my friends list. He's totally
Oh, really?
so. Oh yeah, we grew up together, man. Like he is, his name is Mason Foray. Mason is how we pronounce it now. And he is on my friends list, but he is the one who gave me the name, the Amazon Beauty.
Really? Cool. So hey, that poem paid off. Look at that. Fair trade.
I can't tell you what the poem was. I couldn't even. I don't even fucking know. I don't even know what it was called. I do know that the first poem I ever wrote was in my biology notebook.
Yeah.
In 10th grade at South Terrebonne, sitting next to Mason Foray. That I can tell you. Can't tell you much more else. But I can't. And the stage name, stand-up comedy, the Amazon Beauty name, the Amazon Beauty. That's when it was given to me.
And it stayed. It stuck. Yeah.
Yeah. Although my Facebook page that actually was called the Amazon Beauty was stripped from existence because Facebook claimed I was claiming to be someone I wasn't, and I'm like, I've been the Amazon Beauty for 15 fucking years, okay?
They think you really want to go work for Amazon? Like, what the fuck?
Technically, I've been the Amazon Beauty since 10th grade, so that's like 30-something decades, or 30-something years, excuse me. I'm not that old, 30-something decades. But
we were talking about vampires earlier. I don't fucking know.
I went on stage for the first time in 2006, and from the first day I walked on stage, I had them call me the Amazon Beauty. And I did it for almost 2.5 years before I just switched to writing. I've been writing this whole time. I never stopped writing.
Yeah, good. As you should. You know what I mean?
That's my, but in case Spike is still listening, that's the next book in the hopper. I've already published 2 this year, and the third one, the one I've got next, the one that I'm going to hopefully be doing next, is the comedy one. It's written. I just have to put it together.
Awesome.
All right. So I'm going to, talk about some other spotlighted people that I have from the week. And I'm going to do an exit video with who our guest is for next week. You are more than welcome to stick around, or if you'd like, you are welcome to go. You are off the hook.
Okay. I'll come play in the chat. I'll be right there.
All right, sweetheart.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. I am going to throw up a video of some spotlights that I want to talk about real quick for those of you that are here. Cult Music Media. It can be found on Bandcamp. And, I forgot to put the link in the comments. Let me go real quick. I'm going to grab it. For anyone who's watching, their entire discography is amazing, and you will not be dissatisfied. You will absolutely love anything you get from them. I do know there's a few things that are super new that have been dropped recently, and that's why I wanted to bring them up in the spotlight for this part of what I'm doing. I'm putting it in chat. The cultmusic.bandcamp.com, and particularly this piece that we're looking at on the screen right now is called DRC Forever. Drug Rats on Ice, excuse me. That is a collection of music that you will want to go take a look at. And Kate is in our chat. Woohoo! So the other thing, let me go back to the video. That was put together in large part, and I'm sure he had help. I'm sure he didn't do it alone, but Devin Keefe. You can find Devin as at Diastro is where you can find him. He's another spotlight I wanted you guys to know about. And the last one I'm going to share with you guys is our dear friend Mike. He is a comic illustrator, the drawer, and cannot wait until I get what's called a catch-up tier. I don't know all the verbiage. I don't know all the lingo yet, but I am getting all of the 3 prior issues of Life on Korra, because number 4 is right now. It's available on Indiegogo, and that link is on my Spotlights page on Facebook. If you can't find it, I will put it in this chat, or I'm going to come back and put it in the description. I thought I had it here. But you know what? I don't really need to, because all you got to do is go to the @fairies and ints. Yep, it's on there, and you'll find it. So the other spotlights for the week. Now, I'm going to tell you, next week, I am super excited, because next week we are going to have Natalie Dime in here, and she is a singer-songwriter and absolutely adorable. And we're going to let her lead us out with a little video that I put together. And otherwise, I'll see you guys next Sunday. Oh, I have to hit one more time. See you next Sunday.
You used to think that you would never leave him. You used to think that he held all the cards. Bruises and scars, hurt the worst in silence. Don't be afraid to say it. There's no one left to please. I'm getting off my knees. That was the day I learned that I could live without you. Cause I can live without you.
I guess I needed to see you one more time. That was not supposed to happen.